Imagine throwing your entire life away over the price of a video game. Today, we're looking at Dorian Murphy. He's standing before a judge, pleading for a second chance after making some of the most bone-chilling threats you've ever heard. But as the layers peel back, we find out this isn't his first time in the spotlight, and the judge is about to find something in his file that changes everything. Buckle up, because this courtroom back and forth gets intense.
Admonishments with your attorney, did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're charged with the offense of terroristic threat, impersonating a public servant, or placing the public in fear.
There's a person, is there?
It's impairing.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, terroristic threat, impairing public service, placing the public in fear of serious bodily injury. As a third-degree felony, the range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have here in States Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. So do y'all want to set this in 2 weeks, come back, and I can hear whatever evidence y'all want to present? Otherwise, PSI is 12 weeks.
The judge is saying, if you don't want a PSI, like I was telling you what that was earlier, there would be an interview with probation with regarding drug treatment, all of the things that were involved in your life, where you work, your education.
Now, hold on. Did you catch that? Jay, Mariah Pope Williams took a plea deal to testify against her co-defendants. In the legal world, this is called turning state's evidence. It's a high-stakes chess move. If she talks, the others go down. If the deal falls through, the whole case could crumble. But look at Dorian Murphy. His charges were dismissed. Why? No reason given. That is a massive red flag. Was there a lack of evidence? Or is there something the DA isn't telling us?
So on. We can do that. It's 12 weeks. That's 3 months, right? Mm-hmm. The judge says if we don't want to do that, we can waive a PSI and come back in here. Of course, we can bring your fiance and
I'll waive the PSI.
You sure you want to do that?
Yes.
Okay. We'll waive, Judge.
All right.
Thanks for allowing us to confer.
No problem.
Spot.
All right. So how much time do you all need for any witnesses you would like to come in?
Judge, I believe the only witness he was telling me about and his interest that you've spoken to directly is he wanted his fiance to be able to come in before November the 18th, which
or 14th is when her Labor Day, when she goes for
expecting a child. So I know,
all right, we can recall it back in 2 weeks.
I don't know what you're asking about the time, but that's all I'm saying. I'm just bringing you up to date on everything. I think that's the only witness we would have. Does that sound like the only person?
Yeah.
Is your mother going to show up?
My mom, I'm pretty sure, might show up as well.
All right.
All right. So I tell you what, we can recall it in 2 weeks. And if for some reason you don't have your witnesses by then, or you need an extension of time, the court will give you extension of time. Or if you have some witnesses who are not able to come, but they can appear by Zoom, if the state has no objections.
No objection.
Then they can be allowed to appear by Zoom. So they can either appear in person or appear by Zoom. All right, Ms. Ferguson, you're welcome. Ms. Ferguson, I need a reset date for 2 weeks.
Murphy, you want to appear and stand in the middle there for me?
And are you Dorian Murphy?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you entered a plea of no contest. According to your plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. The state opposes your application. Parties waived PSI. Are there any witnesses from either side?
Judge, the witness that would be presented to the court would be the defendant himself, Mr. Murphy. He's told me that before we approach, that people that he was thinking about calling were busy at work, and that he would like to go ahead and proceed by himself. He doesn't want to reset to bring them up to be heard before you at a future date. Is that correct, Dorian?
Yes, sir.
All right. So state you're opposed?
We are, Your Honor.
Yes.
We're going to rest on the contents of the stipulation. And argue to the court after the defense puts on their case.
All right. Any evidence you wish to?
May I call Mr. Murphy?
Yes. Could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Dorian Latrell Murphy.
Dorian, I'm going to ask you some questions. I want you to kind of answer in the direction of the judge, even though I'm standing next to you. She's the one that needs to hear your answers. And of course, when I finish, the young lady to your left, to your right, is going to be allowed to ask questions on behalf of this district attorney's office. Okay?
Okay.
Dorian, do you have any kind of job situation
Yes.
lined up? Would you tell the court about that?
I was working at Komori over there in 1604 in Culebra, along with Bowl and Barrel on near Lock and Terra area.
You said Bowl and Barrel was the second one. What was the first one?
Komori.
Komori?
Yes.
Can you spell that?
Kumori.
What is that exactly?
Japanese cuisine, sushi and steakhouse.
What kind of work were you doing over there?
I was a cook, a line cook,
How long had you been over at the first place, Komori?
for about 7 months.
And was that a full-time job?
Yes, sir.
So you were a cook, full-time job, making the different dishes that they served over there?
Yes, sir.
Say the location again for us.
Oh, near 1604 in Culebra.
Thank you. What was the second place? The
Bowl and Barrel over there.
Bowl and Barrel.
And Lock and Terra was a dishwasher.
Okay. What kind of place is that? Is that a big restaurant over there?
It's slash restaurant and then collided with a bowling alley.
Okay, so that explains the bowl part.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
How long had you been over there?
For 4 months.
And that was a dishwashing job, you said?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you were released to be on probation, is that the type of job skills that you possess as being a cook?
Yes, sir.
And it sounds like are you restricted to just one type of restaurant, or could you go to any other restaurant?
I
If
could
so,
go-
what would those be?
I could go to different types of locations. I can go to Aspen's Creek over there on 1604. I could go to PF Chang's on Lock and Terra. And I believe one more, but I can't remember at the top of my head currently.
How old are you now?
I'm 27.
How long have you been engaged in that type of work?
Since I was 18.
Did you finish high school?
No, sir.
Where was that here in San Antonio?
I was homeschooled.
Oh, okay. Now, what kind of support do you have if you're released from jail?
My mother, my grandmother, my uncles, and my aunts.
Are they here in San Antonio?
Yes, sir.
All of them?
Yes, sir.
Now, have you talked to them about it? If you were released, could you just suddenly appear at their door and be able to at least have a place to sleep and eat and report to probation?
Place to sleep and everything, and then potential job opportunities lined up.
So you'd have a phone and everything where you could answer those questions that if you put in an application, you'd be available to get right on those jobs, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have transportation?
Yes.
How would that be arranged? Is that you or your mom or who is that?
Currently, it would be with my brother.
Okay. To get to the jobs, right?
Yes, sir. If
What?
not, then public transportation, such as the bus.
So do they live? What part of town roughly do they live in? You're talking about all these restaurants.
Northeast side for my aunt and then my uncle, and then northwest side for my mother and my grandmother.
So some in the proximity of the restaurants that you're referring.
Dorian is doing what we call rehabilitative posturing. He's talking about his jobs as a line cook and a dishwasher, showing he's a hard worker with family support. He even admits to a weed problem, trying to seem honest about small flaws to hide the bigger ones. He sounds well-spoken, polite, and remorseful. The defense is trying to paint him as a gentle soul who just lost his cool. But wait until the prosecution gets their turn. The vibe in this room is about to shift fast.
Although
Walking distance, yes, sir.
okay, thank you. Tell us a little bit. This case, you freely entered into a plea on this case. Do you have any remorse? What's your position about what you did?
I had a lot of time to think about my actions and know that I need to have a better handle over my tongue. Know that there are consequences to my actions as well. All I'm asking for is a second chance. I know what I said and everything was wrong, and definitely took this opportunity as a learning experience.
This was a bunch of threats to some type of a I don't know. I'm not familiar with it. I know the
The
name.
Cash App chat bot, sir.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but let's don't get into that. But you were frustrated for some reason. Is that what occurred here?
Yes, sir.
And it was because you thought that something had occurred that you had been taken, excuse me.
My money being taken away from me.
Okay,
But I was mistaken on that. I should have waited and evaluated it before speaking.
okay. So you deeply regret what happened.
Yes,
You
sir.
also had a little bit of the history too. We went over that before we ended our plea and everything, right?
Yes, sir.
You seem like you're the kind of person that might not have a drug problem. Do you have a drug problem or not?
Only with THC weed, but it's not. I've never had a problem. I can go off of it when needed to, and I plan to. I've been clean this long, so
So addiction wise, meth, cocaine.
I don't have any drug problems with
Okay.
those.
So, okay, just the ones that would be of an emotional or a nature that would be a stabilizing type of drug, even though it's illegal, right?
Yes, sir.
And you would be willing to stay off that, correct?
Yes, sir.
The judge would order it if you're on probation. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
No, there would be consequences if you turned up with any of that in your system. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Understand that in the job environment that might be available. I'm not saying it's in every restaurant, but it might be, you might be around people that would have that and tempt you with that. Would you be able to resist that type of approach? Somebody
sir.
tempting you?
Yes, sir. I would be able to resist and make sure to stick to what I'm needing to keep myself stable and out of jail and doing the things that I need to do to take care of my family.
Is there anything that the judge needs to know that I have not talked about that you feel like Her Honor needs to know?
No, sir.
Okay. You seem very well spoken for someone that, when you say you're homeschooled, but you didn't finish high school, you certainly don't sound like that, in my opinion. Do you read a lot, or how
Yes,
do you?
sir. I read a lot. I go to the library occasionally, pick out books. I like to read. Knowledge is power, I believe. So,
Thank you. The young lady I spoke to you about, please answer her questions with the appropriate, polite answers and listen to her questions, okay?
yes, sir.
Pass away, Sean.
All right, stay.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Murphy, how much money was it that you were so upset over?
I believe around $63 at the time.
$63.
Yes, ma'am.
So you threatened to shoot up a gas station and kill a bunch of people over $63.
Yes, ma'am.
You said that you understand that your actions have consequences. Have you considered how the individuals who were made aware of your threats may have been affected by hearing that you were going to come do that to them?
Yes, ma'am.
And if the roles were reversed, if it had been you that had been threatened by someone that you don't know, who made statements that they were capable, not only were they going to do these threats, they were capable of carrying out these threats, how would that make you feel?
Unsafe and not too pleasant. Very, very upsetting and troubled.
And you do have a little bit of a history for assault, do you not?
Yes, ma'am.
When you were a juvenile,
Yes, ma'am.
you were placed on deferred adjudication or deferred prosecution for assault public servant
Yes, ma'am.
and assault against a family member.
Yes, ma'am.
One moment. Given your history for violence and your apparent short fuse, what assurances does the court have that if she grants you probation, that you won't have a short fuse again and commit an act of violence as we know you're prone to do?
And there it is, the bombshell. All of this, the death threats, the shooting up the store, was over $63. Let that sink in. He threatened to end multiple lives over the cost of a sushi dinner. The prosecutor isn't letting him slide, either. She brings up his history, assault on a public servant and family violence. Suddenly, that polite young man image is cracking. Question for you guys. Do you think someone's state of mind is a valid excuse for threatening a mass shooting? Let me know in the comments.
Me doing the time in the bed that I've done now, I'm having a lot of time to think. I also have a newborn, going to be born on November 14th. lot of other variables from family and just evaluating my life that's going to make sure and ensure that I need to get a tight grip and a tight handle on the situation before I speak and before I act.
Nothing further.
One last question. Going back from today, how long have you been in the jailhouse?
About 4 months now.
Thank you. We have no further questions or decision.
I have a couple of questions if there's no objection.
No objection.
Oh, sorry. No.
All right. This is what I'm trying to figure out. Why did you text them and tell them to look my name up on Google for capital murder? So was there ever a capital murder involved?
I haven't Googled him, Your Honor.
And I'm just what's in the stipulations. You sent message and you said, look my name up on Google for capital murder. So has anyone done that?
I'm thinking there was a charge, but I know it never went anywhere, but I can't remember exactly. I remember asking him about that. And I don't know if that was a mistake. We didn't pursue it because the DA didn't seem to know anything. But I didn't talk to this district attorney about it.
Okay.
But it didn't appear to have anything. I mean, I think here in San Antonio, I remember that. Is that what you're saying, Joe?
No, I mean, it just says, I haven't Googled anything. I'm just going from the stipulations.
It did.
I saw it in their file.
That there was a charge that was dismissed.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so there was a previous charge against you for capital murder
Yes, Your Honor.
that was dismissed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And mind you, I'm not taking into consideration that you have a capital murder that's been dismissed because that was dismissed.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm just going through what's in the stipulations and I'm trying to figure out whether or not you would be appropriate for probation or not.
I understand, Your Honor.
Then, what is this? When I get arrested, the news asks why I shot up the store and everything. I will let it be known that I gave y'all a chance, literally stealing money. So why did you think they had stolen your money?
At the time was when I had swiped my card, it had gave me 2 different transactions.
This is the moment Dorian lost the case. The judge asks why he told people to Google his name for capital murder. Think about the ego involved there. He wasn't just angry. He wanted his victims to be terrified of his reputation. Even if the murder charge was dismissed, using it as a weapon of fear is a psychological red flag. The judge's steel trap remark? That's courtroom code for, I see right through you.
One was not one that I had made. I tried to talk to the staff at the time.
So what was the transaction for? The first transaction that you think you didn't make?
The $63 one. The one I didn't make, I originally just bought a little vape, maybe like $15, $20. Then I was previously, or right after, shortly charged 63, somewhere roughly around the 60s for another charge that I tried to talk to them. They gave me the runaround and I lashed without thinking and talking.
So what ended up happening to the $630 that you said you were?
Never got it. So,
But it was never charged?
No, it was charged. I'm still negative on it, but I never got it back. I wound up talking recklessly, and then shortly after, I got incarcerated.
All right. Any other questions?
No.
All right. The court will hear argument.
Your Honor, I'll reserve.
Judge, I have, I know this is not real important, but I've represented over a long period of time a lot of people that I thought when I gave them a push down the road on probation would probably be back in front of the judge. And this gentleman, since the very beginning when I met him in the jail to now, has acted like he just lost it. And it seems like the kind of his representation of and explanations to me have been much more profound and of depth than the average person that appears, as I've appeared with in courts for many years, where they're just trying to get out of something. I think he just had a really bad slip up. I mean, that's probably not a good way of putting it, but I realize that the only way you can think about it is to wind up with 4 months in jail over $63, but saying a bunch of terrible things over it is pretty bad. I just think from what I've heard him talk about his job history, I didn't know much about that till today. I'm impressed by the fact that I think he can be a contributing member of society. I guess the best part about this guy, when I come back to the beginning of what I began talking to you about my time in this standing here in front of judges, is his insight. I think he's got more insight than the average person that I have over the years, where I thought they were going to be fine. I think stronger about this guy than I thought about them. I think he's figured it out. I think being in jail has probably, I'm guessing, been
A wake-up call.
Been a real eye opener to Mr. Murphy.
But here's my question. You're 27.
Yes, Your Honor.
How old were you when this occurred?
26.
All right, so you were 26, and you have this juvenile history. Why wasn't that a wake-up call?
It was been years since I believe I was 13 or 14.
And then
I was still young, didn't understand. So after here for the time that I've sat, and the seclusion from being outside, restrictions on access to things, just really an eye opener.
And let me just tell you, this is my problem. Well, not my problem. This is just something I'm going to tell you. The threats you made, it could have been $63. It could have been $100,000. But according to this, your threat starts at 10. I mean, you're 20, you're in your late 20s. It's not as though you're a teenager.
Yeah.
So they start at 10 and you continue all the way to 105, telling people that you're going to show up at the location, and you put the specific location in there. It starts with the initial threat they said was, if I don't get my profanity and say 3 hours, I'm pulling it up to the store and shooting the place up. And you said it's 10:05 a.m. You got till 1:05 p.m. And then after that, you didn't even give them to the 1:05 p.m. deadline. Then after that, you tell them to look up your name and Google it for capital murder. And I would think that if you had grown from your juvenile days and you know that capital murder has been dismissed, you wouldn't even be bringing that up. But you just like, Google my name with capital murder. And then you come back and say, look, if I don't get my cash back by 1:05 p.m. today, I'm pulling up to that store and I'm shooting the whole effing place up. And then you say, I will crash TF out and go to jail and post this on media. Y'all had a chance. And then when I get arrested and the news asks why I shot up the store and everything, I will let it be known that I gave y'all a chance, literally stealing money.
Yes, Your Honor.
I just don't think you're appropriate for probation. There's the criminal history. Then it would seem that once you're sending these messages, you would step back and think. And then the fact that you have a capital murder dismissed, and mind you, I'm not taking that as true, but for you to say, hey, Google my name with capital murder, like what frame of mind are you in when you do that?
I was out of state of mind for it at the time, Your Honor.
Okay. What I can tell you, I don't think you're appropriate for probation. I don't know if he has any convictions that would preclude him from being eligible for shock probation, because I don't have his complete history. But I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to sentence you to the 4 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's a $1,500 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. You can't have any contact with any Shell station. And I don't know his criminal history, so.
Are you?
The adult side, Your Honor, I can tell you from what I can see, he has, I just lost my page. I believe he has a misdemeanor theft. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He has a conviction for misdemeanor theft and a misdemeanor ABI family.
All right. So,
For years in prison, The judge saw a 27-year-old man who hadn't learned from his past, and she wasn't willing to gamble on public safety. But the drama doesn't end with Dorian. We're shifting gears now to a heartbreaking victim impact statement involving children and a cycle of abuse that will leave you speechless. How do kids recover from seeing the people meant to protect them turn into monsters? Let's listen to Wanda Short's testimony.
Counsel, you can, I'll retain jurisdiction.
Would you please make a note of that, Your Honor?
Oh, my mind's a steel trap. I'll remember it. Yes.
Well, I may not.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. I'll make a note.
Maybe you can let me know, and
Well, I'll retain jurisdiction.
because the court usually asks for a report
Mm-hmm.
in advance, just to alert the court to that.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking about the note.
Yes.
And if the court reads that report and then decides whether to bring him down,
Yes.
it's already in the, you know how it works.
Mhm.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The number that you paid for the court.
Yes,
You know, leave it at 6, right?
I followed the agreement.
She has no, she has one prior offense back in 2015. So, and there are no guidelines because this is a misdemeanor. So, Ms. Underwood, I would just ask that you allow Ms. Wagner and the victims to speak first. Okay. All right. So, Ms. Wagner, you have someone who wants to.
Yes, Your Honor, we have Wanda Short and Marnie Apple.
Okay, one at a time. They can come up. I'm just going to step up to the podium. Sorry. And if you could state your full name for the record.
Wanda Short,
How do you spell your last name?
S-H-O-R-T.
Okay, very good. So what would you like to say to me?
I picked the kids up on the day all this happened, and the first thing was Mommy and Keys whooped Reese because they beat Reese. And that Reese says he has nightmares from this now, and he speaks as to Jasmine and Keys of their monsters. And Isabel, his sister, the trauma from it onto her is she couldn't even go into a bathroom by herself anymore. Not at all. And she was never like that. She was fearless. And she'll almost sit on the floor and hold herself until somebody would come with her. That she's so traumatized from this. And I just wanted to, to make that aware that these kids, this is what over onto them, they are afraid. They're terrified because of that. And I just want them to be okay. And I just, I make sure that they're fine.
They're in counseling.
Yeah, they do need, we're starting Isabel in counseling now, but yeah, they both need counseling, I think, yes.
Have they gone to counseling before this?
No, they were great, loving kids before this.
No, I mean, like during the process.
Oh, Isabel's been one time so far, as far as I know, and I don't have to ask Marty about it.
Okay.
But she has been, they're starting it, so she needs to be in counseling because we got to get past this, because she won't, like I said, she won't go to the bathroom out by herself, and she would get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom by herself without a problem, and now she won't. She's terrified, and they're terrified they're going to run into her. She's terrified she's going to run into her at the store. And Reese, he's watching this cartoon about monsters, and he refers to her and Keys as the monsters in the TV show now. I had photos on my table of us at Chuck E. Cheese on her birthday, on Izzy's birthday, and she ripped them up, ripped her mom out, and taken it to the counselor, and then drew all over a black marker, cut her right out of it. And I walked into the kitchen, and here these pictures are just tore up, and I was like, "Baby, what are you doing?" I don't want her in these pictures. She did not want them in. She didn't want her in. She just tore them up. And I just think she's been really traumatized from this, and I just want them to be better. I think she should have to pay for what she did to kids. I really do. She shouldn't just. I hope that they can on probation. I hope she, she learns from this. Definitely needs parenting classes. I think that Jasmine loves her children, but she doesn't know how to put her children first. She doesn't know how to sacrifice for the kids. You put your kids first, always. As a mother, and she's never done that. No. And I've known her since Isabel's born. So, I don't think she ever will be able to put kids first. Well, thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for listening to me, of course.
Okay, you step up to the podium too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And could you start off by stating your full name?
It's Margaret Apple.
Spell your last name,
APPLE.
just like it sounds.
Yes.
So what's your first name?
Margaret, Margaret.
Thanks.
I guess first and foremost, Wanda's referring to the incident with Reese happening in a bathroom. That is why Isabel is having issues with the bathroom. But from the very beginning, after this happened, Reese would have nightmares. He would holler out in the middle of the night or cry. He would holler out things like, "Quit, don't, stop, I don't want to, why?" Or he would be crying in his sleep. And he occasionally, we try very hard to spell around him if we have to be speaking about anything referring to this, so that he's not picking up on anything. And he just comes right out and just says stuff. Something sparks his memory, something he sees on TV, something somebody says, and then he just interjects with, "Mommy and Keys did this," or "I didn't like it when Mommy did that," or "I don't ever, 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 ever want to see Mommy and Keys again." And I don't know how to, exactly describe what it's like for him on a daily basis. We move on. We do as much things as we can. We all spend as much time with him as we can, trying to get further and further and further away from the incident, that I'm hoping that he's not going to carry this for the rest of his life. But he speaks a lot about it. And when I initially saw the bruises, the first thing I said was, "Oh my goodness, Reese, what happened? How did you get all these bruises?" He said point blank, "I peed on the floor." He was in the middle of potty training. "I peed on the floor and Mama and Keys whooped me with a belt and put me in a corner. And I was the one that reported it. I was told to get Tommy and get it medically documented and started all of this. And I'm really and truly hoping that these kids can get past this and that they don't have all these residual effects and these lasting effects of years and years and years of abuse. And I do believe, I'm just throwing this out, Isabel suffered longer because she was older. And even we're almost a year exactly at this, and Reese is still talking about it, still making reference to it. And I just say, well, you know what? Everything's okay now. This is how I move him out of the direction of him starting to, everything's fine now. You're safe now. Everything's good now. Just so that I'm hoping slowly but surely we can kind of work this out of his mind so he's not as traumatized. But he's still to this day, a year later, has nightmares and dreams and still talks about how he doesn't want to ever see them again and that they are monsters. And I am not one of those people. I do not discuss this. I do not prompt him. I do not ask him questions. I don't ask him how he feels about this incident. This is something that we just never discuss, and he is the one that brings it up.
But he has to talk about it. And that's why he should be in counseling. He should be doing talk therapy. He should be discussing it with professionals and working through it. He has to talk about it.
Yes, and Tommy has that paperwork.
Okay. Because if he doesn't,
what I encourage, and that's what I was saying earlier, is that, well, you know, everything's okay right now. You know, you're safe right now. Yes, I do understand what you're saying. I appreciate that.
he's not safe. Like he's safe today, but in his mind doesn't know he'll be safe tomorrow. So I think, you know, he's doing good about talking about it, but he needs to be in counseling. Both of them do.
I do understand that. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Anything you want to say on behalf of the people?
Yes, Your Honor. So just briefly, I think it's important to note that when this investigation happened and Detective Putnam was investigating it, Ms. Carver was not cooperative. She lied several times and was caught in those lies. She said she didn't have a belt at all in the home. They found a belt in the home. She said it wasn't her belt. It was a friend's belt who had stayed the night. They went and interviewed that friend. That friend said, no, I've never spent the night there. That's not my belt. That's not my size. Wasn't even her correct name, actually, or the place where she was employed. So there were a lot of lies that were told about this. When I saw the photographs of the injuries on this little 3-year-old, it was startling. They were very distinct and clear belt marks. There were marks that indicated to me that the buckle of the belt had struck this little 3-year-old as well. When I asked his father, Tommy, and his guardians, Wanda and Marty, to describe their reaction when they saw those, they cried as they told me about it. And they said their immediate reaction when they saw the marks was to cry. You know, you're not supposed to see marks like that on a little boy's body, on a little child's body. And I guess I'm especially disheartened this morning as I look at Ms. Carver on Zoom. And I don't think that you had the benefit of seeing this because you were focusing on Marty and Wanda as they spoke. But Ms. Carver rolled her eyes and shook her head as they spoke. And I didn't see one bit of remorse from her. And I hope that she has remorse for the injuries that were inflicted on her young child, but she didn't demonstrate that this morning as Wanda and Marty were speaking. And I think that that's really disheartening. So I just ask you to take all of that into consideration.
Ms. Underwood.
I'm sorry, I cut out there first.
One moment. I'll address that. Your Honor, I would like to start out by saying this is a tragedy for all concerned. Ms. Carver does not minimize in any way the damage done to her children. Ms. Carver understands that. Ms. Carver has lost custody of her children. Ms. Carver is not even allowed any parenting time with their children. She has paid a price for that. Your Honor, Ms. Carver, I believe there was an assault case with Ms. Carver as a victim with the other person who was initially charged in this. Your Honor, Ms. Carver makes no excuses, Your Honor, for her conduct. Ms. Carver told me this morning that she has been getting daily texts from anonymous people threatening her and saying really repugnant things to her. And that's, I think, why she is upset this morning, in addition to what we're doing here. Ms. Carver fully understands, Your Honor, that she has a long way to go, both as a person and to make herself, to atone for what happened here. We would ask that the court sentence Ms. Carver to probation with the provisions, that the court feels comfortable. Ms. Carver does not live in the county anymore. There should be no excuse for any contact between these people at all at this point. I think it may never happen, but I think that we would ask the court to comply with the plea agreement in this matter, Your Honor. Ms. Carver is ready to and eager to get this bond.
Ms. Carver, anything you'd like to say on your own behalf?
Yes. I need this to be reminded. When I had my daughter, being my circumstances, I understood that I couldn't care for her. And I gave her to Wanda. I put my trust in Wanda for my daughter. I didn't get any kind of full custody of my daughter until about a month, 2 months after I had asked them if I could put her on my taxes because they had been filing taxes for her. It was a problem. They stole her social security card and went ahead and did it anyways. I was trying to get Section 8 housing for me and my daughter.
Ms. Carver, listen, I want to hear what you have to say about the fact your children were beaten. So why don't we talk about that?
I never, and I really say this with all my heart, and I feel like with what we've been through, I would never put my hands on my children. I realized that somebody else was, and I got away from them. I take blame for not noticing that that was happening, and I apologize for that. I do. I apologize. I did not realize that was happening. I didn't. I love my children. That will never change. And I have completely removed myself from all of that. I'm going to church. I'm going to parenting classes. I'm going to therapy. I'm doing everything that I can. And I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying to be there for my kids. But I get woken up every morning telling me that I'm a horrible person and that's why my mom died and my dad doesn't love me and I should just go kill myself. And it's like I'm trying everything I can. And I realize I made mistakes. And I put myself and my children around people who they shouldn't have been around. And I regret that. I will always regret that. But I'm doing everything that I can to fix the problem that I can be allowed. You know what I mean? I'm doing everything I can.
Anything else?
I will do whatever I can for my children. I will do whatever I can. And even if that means I have to do it from a distance right now. I understand the predicament. But at the same time, these people, I mean, it doesn't even matter because, I mean, I have people who could stand up and literally attest to say that these people are lying. But I just felt like no matter what, I'm not going to be heard. So
Ms. Carver, thank you. In determining the appropriate sentence in this case, the court has considered the seriousness of the offense, your history, the principle of proportionality, the statutory penalty, the cost of confinement, the sentencing guidelines, the report and recommendation of the probation department, as well as what has been said upon the record at this hearing. The criteria and reasons for the sentence are the nature and gravity of the offense, the discipline appropriate to its commission, deterrence against repetition by you and by others, potential for reformation, vindication of the law, and protection of society. So, Ms. Carver, what I heard was a lot of deflection of blame. Being a mother, I know if my kid has a bad mosquito bite. I certainly would know if someone was beating the shit out of my kid. And you're not talking anymore. I'm talking. So, unfortunately, this happened, and now your kids are going to pay for this for the rest of their lives. The rest of their lives, because in their eyes, you are a monster now. So I'm glad that you're making progress. I'm glad that you're doing things through CPS. But, these children will take years to recover from this, and that's why they need to be in counseling. They can't forget about it. They have to deal with it. So they need to be in counseling so they don't marry a man who beats the crap out of them or, beat the crap out of their girlfriend. They have to change that. And unfortunately, you did not protect them, and that's why we're here today. So it's sentence of the court that you'll be placed on probation for a period of 12 months under 769.4A. During that term of probation, you will pay $750 in court costs, $450 court-appointed attorney fee, $100 fine, $50 in state costs, $75 crime victim rights fee, $30 per month supervision fee. During your term of probation, you're not to use any illegal controlled substances, any alcohol, not to be unsupervised around any minor children under the age of 17. You are to maintain employment, not to commit any assaultive behavior. Anything else?
I would ask for no contact order between her and the children and
Yes, kids, right?
she's lost custody to both children at
Her parental rights terminated.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. No contact with the minor children.
And can we include the children's fathers? I can give you their names, as well as Wanda Short and Margaret Apple, who will frequently have the children in their custody.
Okay. So Miss Underwood, no contact with the children, their fathers, or the guardians. So you understand, Miss Carver, you're not to have any contact with either biological father or either of the women who were here speaking today, Miss Apple and Miss Short. Do you understand that?
Yes. Will I be able to see my kids ever again?
No, you lost custody. You lost your parental rights over them. Your rights were terminated, correct, Miss Carver?
I thought my custody was terminated. I thought I still had rights.
I don't know. I don't have that file, but I don't know if you'll ever see your kids again. Maybe when they're adults, if they want to see you, but that would be them when they're an adult. Okay. Okay. And what are the father's names?
Tommy.
Okay. Okay. All right. So Miss Carver, you do have the right to appeal this sentence, and we're going to mail to you 3 copies of your notice of right to appellate review. You'll initial and date 1 copy, put it back in the self-addressed envelope, and mail it back to us. The other copies are for you. And if you wish to appeal the sentence, you would fill out the information on the form and mail it to the address listed on the form within 42 days. I'm going to need you to report to the district court probation officer on July 11th, next Thursday, between 8 and 10 a.m. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And you also need to maintain employment. Ms. Adams, I'll need to fill out this report. All right, so, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am. Are you Devin Atkins? And Miss Atkins is on probation for the third-degree felony offense of injury to an elderly person. That's started at May 23rd of 2022. There was a motion to adjudicate probation filed. She entered pleas of true to counts 4 and 5. Does the state have testimony with regard to counts 1, 2, and 3?
Yes, the court would like.
Yep, I think I would.
On that call, Ms. Shakita Cole.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Ms. Cole. Would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Ms. Cole, would you please state your full name for the record?
Shakita Cole.
How are you employed?
I'm employed at Jackson County Adult Probation.
And as an adult probation officer, is it your responsibility to supervise an individual on probation by the name of Devin Atkins?
Yes.
Do you see Ms. Atkins in the courtroom here today?
Yes.
Can you point to her identifier?
Right here in the blue jersey.
Your man record. Ms. Cole has identified your probationer, Devin Atkins.
Record will so reflect.
And Ms. Cole, as with every probationer, when they are placed on the court's probation, are they given the rules and restrictions placed upon them and what they're supposed to do to follow the rules?
Yes.
And each one of those in detail is gone over with them so that they understand everything that they're required to do.
Yes.
Was Ms. Atkins so advised?
Yes.
At her intake?
She was advised at her intake and at a TTM at the Melton Center.
Okay. And describe for the court what a TTM is.
A treatment team.
Okay. So, in your opinion, Ms. Cole, as her probation officer, was Ms. Atkins fully apprised and aware of what she was required to do on probation?
Yes.
And were, in fact, the majority of those things intended to help her?
Yes.
Was she advised that she was to report to the Community Supervision Department when directed by yourself and the court?
Yes.
And did Ms. Atkins, based on your review of the file, fail to do that on multiple dates, including but most likely not limited to November 4th, 2024, November 19th of 24, and was that in violation of her probation order?
Yes.
Did you address that with her and inform her it is important to report if you have something coming up and you can let me know?
Yes.
And did she do that?
No.
Was Ms. Atkins, as a condition of said probation, ordered to perform community supervision?
Yes.
And to report those to you?
Yes.
Obviously, if you do not know that she has completed them, even if she has, is that a violation of her probation?
Yes.
To your knowledge, based on your review of her file and your supervision of her, did she either complete the hours or immediately report to you? Sorry, I'm reading. No wonder everyone's really.
I was about to. I know. I was about to.
Community service. Well, that is in fact a condition of probation, right? Is it also a condition of probation that she is to report to you as her address and so that you know where she is all the time?
Yes.
And if she does not do that, is it impossible to locate her?
That is correct.
Did she in fact immediately report to you her current address?
No, she did not.
Anything else? I know you and I have had a lengthy discussion about her that we feel would be appropriate for the court to know in conjunction with your testimony and your PS.
The main thing is her mental health. She refuses to address that. We've made appointments for her with Spinal and she didn't attend the appointments. She's 100% when she was out unmedicated. So that kind of interfered with her completing her services. And she maintained contact with the victim in the case. So that part, her grandmother was trying to be there for her because of the mental health difficulties. And that's the main thing that we were trying to get her to address.
Okay. Can I address anything? In a minute. Mr. Lewis, do you have any questions? Hold on, ma'am. You're going to get an opportunity, okay? Mr. Lewis, do you have any questions of Ms. Cole?
Just briefly, during your supervision of Ms. Atkins, was you able to supervise her at points when she was on her medication and not on her medication?
The entire time she has not been on her medication.
So she's been on medication for the entire time?
Yes, sir.
Supervision.
Anything else?
Nothing else.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Cole. Any other witnesses with regard to the allegations? Based on the testimony,
Unless I may ask, Ms. Cole, Judge,
Yeah.
and you stated that earlier, Miss Evelyn Thibodeau, I believe that is her grandmother, correct?
Yes,
hold on, ma'am.
At some point in time in November of 2024, was Miss Atkins violating the condition the court had imposed that she not to have contact with Miss Thibodeau for Miss Thibodeau's sake?
Yes.
Any questions about that? About
No.
the count? That's count 8 with the contact. Okay. Then at this time, based on the testimony, I am going to find count 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, and 8 true. Again, there were pleas of true to counts 4 and 5 previously. I've received an updated pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
Yes, ma'am.
Any additions or corrections to that report?
No, from the past year.
Nothing from the state, Your Honor, unless Ms. Cole has something to add.
Do you have anything to add that's not already in your report?
Yes.
So the main thing I want to make sure, Ms. Cole, I have a notation here to ask is, you guys were aware of mental health issues and had opportunities for Ms. Atkins to participate in mental health services. Is that correct?
I made the appointments myself.
Okay. All right. Argument, Mr. Lewis?
Well, Judge, I think definitely from the updated PSI we have, as well as I think there was some issues from the jail. If you look at those issues and activity, I think that goes directly to her mental health state. Unfortunately, she has not been on a mental health caseload. I think that definitely would benefit her, as well as, being able to take advantage of any services that phenotype inmate Jamar may have, or any program that probation deems appropriate for her. I have had conversations with her and many meaningful conversations with her where she has addressed to me her desire to take advantage of those activities if those available to me. She did understand that she had the safety opportunity. It didn't go well, but I don't think the mental health issues were addressed, mainly just substance abuse at that point. I think if we can get a handle on that or get some work done with her to address the mental health issues, I think she'll do a lot better in this situation and be able to lead this assessment.
it's hard when
Hold on.
not taking patients.
Well, it sounds like you had appointments that you missed that Ms. Cole made for you. Did she go to regular Safe P or special? Hold on.
Special.
So she's already been to special needs Safe P. So that was a whole 6 months plus aftercare of drug and mental health help. So Ms. Atkins, the problem is you're being given all the opportunities.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't know if I told you, I had an appointment in Port Arthur because I cannot get into Bowman. They're not taking new patients.
So you had an appointment that Ms. Cole set for you, at least one. How many?
Yeah, but it's not for medicine. It's for psycho. I'm not a psycho. I don't have those problems. I mean, some people do that. No.
Well, you obviously we don't know what you need because you won't even go do the evaluation. That it sounds like you haven't been on medication that would be what?
Evaluation where?
At Spinaltop.
That's what I'm telling you. That's not. I don't have that. I'm not a psychopath. That is for.
It's psychopath. Nobody's saying you're a psychopath, but you have.
It's called a past program. I'm not a psychopath.
That's not what it's called, and that's not the reason it's called that. Okay, if you had gone to your appointment and talked to them, then you would know what that was for, and you would know that it was meant to help you so that you could get on medication, stabilize, and not have the issues that you've been having. I'm going to find that you previously entered your. I'm sorry, Miss Malfino. Did you have anything to add?
No, Judge, I think that from my conversation with Ms. Cole, she's been gracious enough to offer to continue to work with her because I think she clearly sees the mental health issues. But as you can see, what Ms. Cole has been having to deal with is how the court has had to deal with Ms. Atkins today, and it's been kind of just run around circle.
Well, and in addition, I am going to find judicial notice of the court's file. Ms. Atkins was evaluated for competency to stand trial not that long ago. I think it was in January of this year. And I have that report. And the finding is that Ms. Atkins is competent, understands the nature of the proceedings, and is then just really making a choice not to follow through with what programs have been given to you, Ms. Atkins, to try to help you. So at this time, any recommendation as far as?
I have one more thing to say.
Okay.
She is not giving me the information needed to follow up with those type of things.
Okay. Well, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Ms. Cole would never say go do something and not tell you where to go or help you get there.
No, she said she does not have a list of the community service.
I'm not worried about your community service. I'm worried about your mental health and the fact that you're not doing what you need to, and you're still contacting the victim, and it's a serious case. And so I got to protect society, unfortunately, because you're not choosing to do the things that.
I don't really have much of a choice.
Okay.
It's my life in jeopardy.
I'm going to find that you entered your pleas of true to counts 4 and 5 freely and voluntarily. Again, I'm finding counts 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, and 8 true. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time, find you guilty. Don't talk over. I'm about to sentence you to prison, and how you keep talking over me is about to start adding years onto that. Stop talking. It's just going to get worse. Do you understand? Okay. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time, I'm finding you guilty of injury to an elderly individual. Sentence you to a term of 5 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive.
I'm telling you, like, she thought, like, I could not get up there.
I'm going to hand you the trial court certification that shows this
I would
was.
like to speak to a detective.
This was not an agreement, and so you waived your right to appeal. I need you to sign that with her.
Hospital papers. I gave her everything.
I'm also handed you.
Doctor's appointment and everything. That's what
I've got 5 more years that I could add on to that.
Oh, man.
I can give you up to 10. You need to stop talking so I can finish what I need to do, okay?
I'm not guilty. That's what I'm telling you. I did not have a choice. I have went to the hospital and everything.
I'm handing you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition because of the judgment entered against. I'm not, just listen to what I'm saying. If you'll listen for a minute, you'll understand. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition.
I don't have a gun, man.
Good, then you don't.
I'm the wrong person. I'm Devin Atkins. I don't have a gun.
I'm required to read that to everyone.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a gun.
Good, then you don't have to worry about that. Go back with the bailiff.
Thank you. I didn't have any pictures.